So, after reading these chapters, uh, after reading chapter 9, what I mainly got out of it was the different types of contracts. The and exactly what exactly a contract is. It's a legally enforced exchange for a promise or an exchange of a promise for an act. And there are many, many different types of contracts, and that is what I'm going to be going through for chapter 9. And first one is an express contract. An express contract is an exchange between parties that can be oral or written, and also in this contract it can be enforced. And then there's an implied contract, which is a contract established by the conduct of the parties creating the contract. Um, then the next contract is a unilateral contract, which is an exchange um, of a promise for an act. So essentially, this is like you're promising me that you're going to get this job done, and then the other party is going to get that job done. Then you have a bilateral um, contract, which is an exchange of one promise for another promise. The next contract is a void contract, which is a contract that, when created, has several defects. So basically, the contract isn't valid in a way, which leads me to the next contract, which is a valid contract, which is a contract that meets all the legal requirements for a fully enforceable contract. Um, the next contract after that is an executed contract, which is just a contract that, when the terms of the contract have been performed. And whenever these, in chapter 10, whenever a contract is fully um, executed, they will get terminated, but I'll go into that in chapter 10. The next contract is a unenforceable contract, which it's a contract that, just like the name, cannot be enforced um, because of a valid defense. Then you have a quasi-contract, which is a court-imposed agreement to prevent the unjust enrichment of one party. So it's just an agreement by the court, so one party just doesn't benefit from the agreement. So it has to be a win-win situation for both parties. It can't just be a win-lose situation. And those are all the contracts that were in chapter 9, which is the biggest part that I got out of chapter 9. Moving on to chapter 10, the law of contracts. The big thing that I got out of this chapter was the discharge of contracts and what can cause, the different types of causes for the discharge of a contract. That's what I'm going to be going into right now. And the first discharge is a discharge by performance, which is when a injured party terminates the contract and sues to recover damages. So if they ask you to do this job, the party that is doing the job is injured, they can sue the other party to essentially to recover damages on their person or for any other types of damages, whether that be even like machinery and things like that. Um, Next type is discharge by mutual agreement, which is when both parties agree to essentially redo or in a way kind of get rid of the contract that they just had. They both just come together and be like, yeah, this contract isn't working, so we need to either fix it or we need to figure out something here, either just get rid of it or we need to think of something new that benefits both of us. Then the next is discharge by conditions precedent. What this is, it's when a particular event must happen, but if the event does not occur or the job is not done, then the contract uh, is then terminated or discharged. Uh, the next type is conditions precedent, which is a particular event must happen. The event, wait a minute. Oh, my bad. I've accidentally read off the same one. Next one is conditions subsequent, which is when a job is executed, the contract is then terminated. In conditions present, it's not terminated, it's just the contract is discharged. Then the impossibility of performance is just when the job that they're asking to be done, is physically and legally uh, impossible for the other party to execute. Then the last one is commercial practicability. This is one situation that makes the performance of a contract unreasonably expensive, injurious, or costly to a party. So essentially, there's a contract that one party is essentially not benefiting. They're spending a lot of money, or it's just not like right for the other party to be doing this job. But other than that, those were the main points that I got out of these two chapters. And thank you for watching.